Odds are we're gonna be alright. Odds are we're gonna be alright through another night. Yeah, tonight.
Alright. Ooh. Saturday. Right, same song.
One day you'll go through puberty.
Saturday.
Alright.
Oh, I still can't grow facial hair that was.
Corinne laughed at that one.
She's our only viewer of the live show.
I think she's a captive audience.
Filmed in front of a live studio audience.
What's the singular word for audience?
Audii.
Person.
Filmed in front of my fiance.
Filmed in front of Brian's fiance.
Broadcasting live from the Brian studio.
Live in Casby, New Jersey.
Kesby. And
actually how-
Kesby, no Jezzy.
That's actually how most people pronounce it from this area.
Kesby?
Yeah.
They're fucking wrong.
That's what I thought.
They're wrong and they're dumb. It's Keesby.
They're wrong in the dim. They're wrong in the.
Bob, can you get some funnier looking headphones? Jesus Christ.
Maybe. I don't know.
Doug Dibdom, home of the Dibdale Dibdom. Doug Dibdom, Doug Dibdom.
Right, not right.
Doug Dibdom.
That's right.
All right.
Not right. All right.
Yes.
What? Attendee. Shoot the
Sunday
Shibby
night,
is
Shoot
filmed
the
in
Shibby.
front of a live attendee.
An attendee of one.
That's the point of attendee, Bob.
Shut up.
I can be your hook. Suck it in, rinse it, get it. It's anyway.
Second
Yeah, I know you like this song a little.
Please kill me. So please be alone. Oh, so fast ready to for yourself. I can take pictures on the shelf. I tried, but the motherfucker lied. Be financial suicide, but I got too much pride inside.
Can someone reboot Brian?
You're cute. No, you're cute. No, you. No, you. No, you.
I mean, I
no,
could
you.
easily just do this.
She's stuck in a loop, and he's an idiot. I love Futurama. It's such a good show.
Oh my god, this is a good show. Are we filming? Are we live yet?
Are we filming our voices, Bob?
I mean, I've been filming for the last 2 minutes and 42 seconds.
Well,
Great,
welcome
that's the
to
intro.
Welcome to the first
Use your words.
Words are hard. The first,
Whatever. Shootin' the Shibby. Brian, Spencer, Bob. All right, let's get into it.
I don't want to do it now.
No, you don't, because you
Shut it
suck at
down.
everything.
Welcome to Shootin' the Shibby, first podcast.
I already said
Brian.
it.
You suck though in Shootin' the Shibby.
It's because it's better to just say it than welcome to.
I want to use my radio voice.
It wasn't. No.
Go f yourself.
Really?
Go
That's
F
out
yourself,
of the
San
You're
Diego.
gonna censor yourself there?
Free speech.
I have free speech, so I will
Free speech.
censor myself. Thank you.
I have freedom of speech, so I can say whatever I don't want to say.
Socialism works. So Brian, how are you doing? Subliminal messages.
Oh, I'm doing great. Heal my froily. It's
I have to go and post and like reverse that.
oh, I'm doing great. Oh my god, that'd be fantastic.
Even at Niage.
Glorious day. Karl Marx was right.
This-
Solid beer.
Another great day for communism.
Another great day for the Tide Pods.
Bob, I think you need one more pair of headphones over there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Good thing our listeners can listen to all those headphones he's
Don't worry,
wearing.
I'm gonna take a picture and then they'll see it when they
The
don't follow me on
visualization.
Twitter.
He is wearing 2 headphones on his face.
There we
Give him a
go.
thumbs up.
It took a while for me to get that.
The
photo
crowd
to
goes
go.
wild. Corinne go wild.
The attendee goes wild.
Yeah.
Did you know this is filmed in front of a live attendee?
Shootin' the Shibby is filmed in front of a live attendee.
That's like the Family Guy bit where it was like 2.5 Men is filmed in front of a live studio ostrich. It's like, man, it's Friday night. I don't have a date. He's like, well, let me get you a number from my little black book. Ha ha!
Is your cat down here? We might have a second one.
Oh my God,
She's stumping around.
I was about to make.
somewhere.
Bob.
Brian has a three-legged cat.
Bob, I'm going to preface this by Bob, edit this out of the final episode. I understand that, dear, but I went for the racial joke. Bob, edit that out.
It's cool. Let's record things and then get rid of them.
That's all right. I already have 2 show markers on my little recording here.
Oh, yeah?
That says reverse what Brian said and edit this out.
I have a feeling if you actually took down like a list of like shit you had to edit out from everybody, it would be like Bob edit out 2 things, Spencer maybe like 1 to 3 things. It's like Brian, a whole fucking book.
We could just take out the middleman, just make this a Bob and Spencer podcast, just edit out permanently.
To be fair, though, Brian owns the studio that we're using.
Totally.
So
And the attendee.
Brian owns
Oh,
the
yes.
attendee.
I own
You
the
own your
attendee.
woman?
Yes.
How
What do you think the
dare
ring
you.
was for? Modern slavery.
we really have a captive audience.
More a captive audience.
The attendee is now dressed in a Snuggie, cracking open a fine book for the evening while she listens to the greatest podcast ever made.
I'm
By
trying to think of a
3
way
people
you
named
can
Brian,
look
Bob,
a
and
little
Spencer.
whiter right now.
BBS. Just like the German Wheel Company. Sweet.
Yeah, you know
like
what?
it
I
already.
think I think a
Shootin'
glass
the
of red
Shibby
wine.
with BBS.
Bottles over there somewhere.
That
right.
works.
I was trying to think of how she look whiter right now.
You
know,
really
if she
look like
did-
you're straight out of the infomercial for the Snuggie. I just want to point that out right now.
If she just went totally white-faced, she could do that and just chalk.
I found it. I'm gonna give her the wine.
See, this is why we need cameras, because...
the bottle.
All right, I'll narrate this one too. Corinne, who is now wearing a Snuggie on the couch, smiling, and is also of a white
Reading a book.
complexion, is now holding a bottle of wine
A red wine.
with a book. A red wine, nonetheless.
Red wine.
Not a rosé, not a Cabernet.
Shout out
not
to
a-
UB40.
Thanks, Bob. Let's wait for somebody to get that.
Actually, I believe
Shout out to the
if
one
I'm
song everyone says, everyone puts on, they say, I like reggae.
see, I very
You know what? I've never realized how accurate that actually is.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
well, it's always either Red Wine
Or Bob Marley.
or 3 Little Birds by
Which
Bob
one's that?
Marley.
Oh.
Every little thing is gonna be all right.
All right. Or I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy.
Good to know.
Buffalo Soldiers actually my go-to Bob Marley song.
Yes.
Oh, I like
Buffalo
so much
Soldier.
trouble in the world. The name
You
of
know-
that song.
Let's get together and be love. Feel alright? Is it be alright? I don't know.
Feel all right.
I don't
In
listen.
college, a friend of mine wrote their own version of Buffalo Soldier called Number One China, named after the Chinese food place in there. And it was something along the lines of Number One China, better than the diner, filled with MSG.
See,
It's the chicken and the broccoli. Soy,
They fit all
soy,
that
soy,
Madison Square
soy,
Garden in
soy,
there.
soy.
see, the thing is, you call it number one China, but I'm telling you, there's probably like 800 number one Chinas throughout the.
See, it
There's
works.
one thing that we know.
All they have to do is franchise themselves together and make one giant chain.
Number
And
one,
there's your
will be
theme
number
song
one.
commercial.
number one China will make you go number 2. That's all we know.
Can confirm.
I do.
Number jokes are fun.
Dad jokes are funner.
Yes, man.
Indeed.
Jesus Christ.
So what's that funky little book you got there, sir?
That's for later.
Segue. We're not there yet.
Oh, we could do that right now.
We could do
Yeah,
it
might
right
as
now.
well.
Sure, we'll jump into it right now. This
Freaking do it, man.
is the ultimate bar book. I got this from my lovely fiance's parents, and it has over 1,000 different cocktails, drinks, combinations.
You are so good at
beers.
dictating. It's like somebody should sponsor us or something. 'Cause you're just so good at it. But let's continue. I want to see.
Hashtag not an ad.
Hashtag not
so what I was going to do with this segment was, but I didn't know we were going to start right now, so I'll explain it to the best of my knowledge. We open up a book, we point at something, and we describe what it is, and that's the drink of the day. And today's drink of the day will be the Bali Highball.
The Bali Highball. This,
What are you giggling at over there?
see, we don't even need the laughing audience button. We have just.
I think it makes even better that it's not like an audience laughter. It's just one person giggling. So we took out the light over here. I need to shine out the light here. It is 1.5 ounces of gin, 2 ounces of Guava nectar?
Guava, nectar. Guava's a fruit.
Okay. Half an ounce of fresh lime juice, 1 ounce of pomegranate syrup, 3 to 4 ounces of chilled club soda with a lime wheel and an orange blossom.
Preheat the oven at 300 degrees.
And, yeah, it's a mixture.
That sounds really good. Yeah. You know what I think we should do for future episodes? If we do the bar book drink of the show,
There's one thing we all
we
want
should
is
make
alcohol.
one for
actually
us.
make the drink.
Yeah.
Well, this
and actually give
was
it like a
improv.
critique and that kind of stuff.
I think we should make up our own drinks and then make them.
That sounds like a horrible
That sounds like an
idea.
awful idea. I feel like driving home tonight. I don't want to.
But I can make. But
I don't want to drive home tomorrow morning.
I don't want to dryer myself to drive home.
I don't want to home myself to my driver.
I'm not as stinky as you drunk I am.
You're not my real dad.
What's the officer problem? So this is Drink of the J. Make it. Let us know what you think of it.
Yeah, let us know.
Hit us in the comments below.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Hit the bell
cetera.
notification because that's a thing now.
Notification squad.
Dab on those haters. I'm sorry, that just left a taste in my mouth.
I'm not talking about.
That's
Logan
probably
Paul.
the water you're drinking.
No, this is the fine taste of Miller Lite.
Hashtag
A
not
fine Pilsner beer, as it says on the can.
Dear Miller Coors.
Hashtag not an ad. Hashtag
Miller
could
Lite.
be an ad.
It's all we got.
Hashtag possibly an ad. Hashtag please.
Hashtag stop with the fucking hashtags.
This could be us.
This could be. Why am I like this? So Bob and I went to the Motor Expo today.
Did you?
Yes, there was.
Tell me about that.
Oh my god, it was amazing. So there were like cars and big motors and turbos and superchargers and car parts, and I learned a lot today too. And Bob learned a lot today too.
I did actually.
right?
I learned a lot about like rear diffs and
Bob learned
transmissions
what
and
LSD LSD is.
Wow, LSD is. Bob, tell me about that LSD.
Actually, Bob, let's see what you retained. What is
Okay.
LSD?
So a limited slip differential
There it
LSD, not the hippie drug that makes you go on trips. But I mean,
Sure, wasn't it a lisp either?
it's not a
limited slip differential.
Yeah, it's a.
limited slip. So basically, normally when you have a full like limited slip kind of differential, I believe this is where it's coming from.
I just want to hear your explanation.
The power is going to want to
don't
go
worry,
to
your
the
thing's
path.
next.
Oh yeah, to the path of least
not fair.
resistance. So if you have one tire on ice and the other tire on gravel, all the power is going to want to go to the ice, and you're not going to get going anywhere until you get that tire with all the grip to get moving. And essentially, it's what lets you go on on icy / gravelly roads.
Yeah, pretty much. So a differential, the power goes to the wheel of least resistance with the ice, like you said is correct. And the LSD helps distribute the power to both wheels, so that way the power's going. You got learned today.
And it also helps make electric dance music great.
It does.
I mean, it's really the only thing that makes it great.
and it also Volkswagen bus joke. I don't know. I can't think of one, but that's what I think of when I think LSD.
It also gives a reason to go to EDC.
This is true.
Fantastic.
This is true. Is my mic not on?
No, I'm just moving it
I was
for
gonna say,
you.
speaking of asking people things they aren't too familiar with, and seeing
welcome
how
down there. We
well
got to touch a lot of LSD.
how
today.
well they know. Well, you got to watch a little bit of football today, so Spencer.
I did sports ball.
I have a sports ball football question for you.
It was Bill Henry, and he scored it in the touchdown in 5 minutes.
I thought so. Once every so, I want to ask you a play in football and see how you can explain this to me the best you can. There's a play in football that was banned a while ago, but a lot of
Okay.
people like to bring it up every now and then. So, Spencer, to the best of your knowledge, what is a fumble-rooski?
A fumble rooski. See, my pappy told me about that one back in the day.
He sat me down in his lap and he was like, Sonny, let me tell you about the fumble-rooski.
Give me old fumble rooski.
After we were done playing funny elbow with each other.
It was previously called the razzle dazzle.
Go on. Correct.
And the way it works is you would actually. I mean, what is it like when
So
you,
who starts the fumble-rooski?
the person holding the ball purposely fumbles
What's
the ball?
what's his position?
The ball catcher.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
He also goes after the snitch.
Uh-huh.
So the fumble rooski would fumble it and then yell at a Russian guy. That's the rooski.
Question for you. What's a fumble?
Fumble is when you drop the ball,
Okay.
right? I'm not that.
So what you do normally? Go on. set up for that one.
Add badoom sound effect.
A
or
rim
just
shot.
Use that one. A rim shot. I'll call it whatever I want. You call it a fumblerooski, I'll call it badoom. I don't give a crap. So after you're done yelling at the Russian, because that's your Ruski, you pick the ball back up.
The Russian.
And make the
I forgot. Every football team has a certain Russian they have to yell at.
They used to have the designated Russian.
Yes, they did. They had the designated Russian that they had to yell at. That's why they got rid of it, because they ran out of Russians.
It's technically known as the Sportslav, but it's whatever.
Go on.
You're
Well, that was a little bit more inclusive, and the NFL wanted to have solely the Russian involved.
They didn't want to discriminate all the other
Did
countries.
I mention my grandpappy's breath stank of bourbon when he was telling me this?
No, so go on. So
he picks the ball
QB
back.
guy, the ball holder,
The cutie ball holder
drops the ball and yells at the Russian on his team. Go on. What else? What else happens?
and then picks the ball back up to go get the touch pass and win prom night for everybody.
Specifically prom night. It would be the homecoming night.
and then they made it into an 80s movie, and it ended with "You're the best of all. Nothing's ever gonna keep it down."
You're the best around.
I'm the one telling you how the Ruski's done. Okay,
I understand that, but
this is my story.
You were right in everything except you got the song wrong.
So I was right about yelling at the Russians.
Yes,
how it works.
that's exactly how it happened.
So,
but
Brian,
then they
But doesn't it have to be
the reason why
Russian ball catcher?
The reason why they had to get rid of
it's
it.
a Russian ball pitcher.
The reason why they got rid of it back in the 80s, or no, sorry, before the 80s, was because of the Cold
LSD.
War.
Oh, wait, real? God damn it. I will say, that was an extremely convincing look that you...
You made up your own bullshit, and then I just wanted to add on to it, and then you believed it. How do you fuck that up?
That's the fumblerooski for you.
You dropped the ball. You did it. Now yell at a Russian. You're almost there.
No, I'm guessing a fumblerooski is when you purposely drop the ball to fumble, and then you kind of pass it to somebody by fumbling, and they pick it back up because it's still a fumbled ball, it's a live ball, and they take it and go.
Yes, essentially that is it.
I can use my context clues.
It is when a ball.
I got this stuff.
It is when the ball carrier purposely fumbles the ball, save like somebody's going to come tackle them. And say Bob and I are both running with the ball, and then I purposely fumble it because you're coming to tackle me. You tackle me, and then I'm like, oh, whoops, and then Bob takes it and runs it in.
God damn it, Bob.
You can't do that.
Speaking of that Cold War, how's North Korea doing? Can you imagine?
Hawaii's still a state, so it's all right.
This is true. Lol, you're going to get bombed. Oh, wait, no, just kidding, JK.
Here's my question for you guys. If something like that Hawaii thing happened, what would you do?
First, I would turn the updates off my computer so they didn't make sounds during the podcast. Very
that's
next,
the important things in life.
Yes.
I think what I would literally try to do is maybe find like see if I could find like an underground to go to, like a bomb shelter. See if I can hide out there. Try to survive it because
Screw that. I'm going to the local liquor store, get myself a nice bottle of Chimay Blue. Hopefully it's chilled already. I'm not going to have much time to chill myself. I'm just going to go to the highest hill I can find in the area and just watch the fireworks. Which in reality would just be, I'm gone.
It's some scary shit though.
It is.
It's horrifying.
Have you
What would you do?
It's funny. Spencer and I were kind of talking about this on the car ride in today, and I would do the exact same thing. I would literally go,
See, I tell myself I would do something like that, but I just know that I'd be like, all right, fuck, can I find somewhere to like hide this out? And then
Bob and I would be
it's one of those
holding
things
hands.
where I would literally call my family members, call my parents, my brother, whatever, and be like, hey, this happened. I'll give you a call, if anything else happens. But if not, cool. It's been fun. Thanks. And then just pop
you
up
were
a chair.
okay.
Yeah, y'all were pretty great.
I would call you and ask you to put the phone to your cat just so I could say I hate you one more time.
Tell the cat off.
It's so great. I just want to imagine that phone call. You're like partying off Hawaii for whatever reason. I get a phone call from you, and you're just like, it's like so serious. Like, Brian, I really got something to tell you. I got a notification on my phone. There's probably going to be a missile strike happening in Hawaii, and they don't think any of us is going to survive. There's just one thing I always wanted from you, and I'm just like, what is that? And you're like, can you put the phone to your cat so I can tell your cat to go fuck itself one more time?
For those that don't know, Brian has adopted Brian and our lovely studio audii, whatever it was.
Attendee.
Attendee.
Yeah.
Attendee.
Adopted a 3-legged cat who,
all right, who was not accustomed to other
this is where
people
the
at the
justification
start.
starts. Continue.
Nice fart there, Bob.
That was my phone, and it was ESPN.
Sure.
What did ESPN have to say? Hey, BB, how you doing? I miss you. I miss our talks.
55-yard touchdown pass from Nick
Oh,
Foles
that's so
to Nelson
hot.
Aguilar.
Oh, God, keep talking.
To Alshon
Yes.
Jeffrey.
Yes, Jeffrey.
Hey, man.
Question for you. Alshon Jeffrey is new to the Philadelphia Eagles. What team did he play before then?
The Houston Packers.
Great. That's it. The Houston Packards.
Any relation to the computer company Hewlett Packard?
I was actually going more for the car company of Packard and then Houston because they were in the news. So
I'm a Houston fan, so yeah, I'm a big
I know,
Houston
the
Packard
Houston-
fan.
the-
Houston Packard, love them.
me too. They're my favorite sports company.
Hey, the NFL might be rigged, so it could be a company all for all we know.
Yeah, how
Donald
crazy
Trump
is
knew
that?
what was going on. Rigged. Hashtag rigged.
He knew it was fake news. We all, we should have listened to Trump.
Well, how crazy is that story? For those of you who don't know about the story, the NFL this past Wednesday, it was the 17th of January, dating the episode.
You had to date yourself.
I know. The 17th of January,
Date yourself before
they
you hate
made a
yourself.
post on their page, donate to whatever charity for your chance to win tickets to watch the Minnesota Vikings take on the New England Patriots. They didn't delete it until this past Friday.
Sketchy.
Illuminati confirmed.
And to go deeper into that, when you search
Memes.
Minnesota
Go deeper.
Vikings, when you
gotta
search
spit on it first.
yes, when you search Minnesota Vikings Super Bowl appearances, this year's Super Bowl shows up. When you search the Patriots, this year's Super Bowl shows up. When you search the Jaguars, and the Eagles, it does not show up.
Oof.
When I search my name in Google, my Facebook shows up. It's creepy.
I'm actually like the fifth.
You're the
When I
fifth
search
Bob
my name.
Quinto?
There's other people that are out there that are above me.
Dude, when we worked at the liquor store, there was another Pellis in the system. I've never met or even heard of another Pellis.
What are you talking about? You have a brother?
All right, well played. Hats off to you. I'm not wearing a hat, but
Bob is.
the audience doesn't know that. Bob, take your hat off for him. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You earned that. No, I just... If there's another Pellis, call me.
Call me so when people will be like, "Oh, did you get married?" Like,
Spence,
no, we
this
just have
is
the
New
same
Jersey,
last
not
name."
Alabama.
Quick side thing.
Nothing little-
One of my favorite
Speaking of
one of my
country
favorite memes to come from r/dank memes, best subreddit out there, was it was the caption when when you start hitting on a girl outside your immediate family, and it was Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle in the picture of someone else's. Dude, that's such a family. Get out of there. Might have to edit that out.
All right. Well, you want one that you're definitely gonna have to edit out. I saw
Go
one.
for
I
it.
saw a response one that like that. That's as fucked up as fingering your sister and finding your dad's wedding ring.
It's like the joke. I was fucking my sister, and she's like, "Well, you fuck like dad does," and I was like, "Yeah, mom said the same thing."
That is now 4 official marks.
I mean, we don't have to be PC. It is, I mean, it's the internet. And we're allowed to do what we want on YouTube, right? There's nothing going on there.
Bob, I actually
not
think
at
it'll be
all.
funny if you just like bleep out the word like fingering, and then like you find
So
your
they could just-
See, I'm a big fan of unnecessary censorship.
So they could just Mad Lib it themselves.
exactly.
What was that live studio audience?
Attendee.
Attendee.
I'm gonna make it sound like there's more than one person.
There's not.
We've already made it clear that there's only one person.
Make me feel better about myself.
And to be fair, I
Jesus.
doubt we'll have any downloads of this podcast anyway, so,
Well, way to
At
really,
least not the first few.
way to really, really.
I'm
build
aiming
my
high.
hopes up.
I'm aiming high.
I'm telling you, man. Once we get a few cameras in here, show our beautiful faces, upload that to
YouTube
and-
might even pay us to take the video down at that point.
Oh my God! Please, no more. No, we
Guys.
just got done with Filthy Frank. We don't need another one.
Guys, Logan Paul was enough. We don't need any more.
Dead bodies. Am I right?
It's like, I know how to get the views. Bob, hang yourself on there.
I mean, to be fair, you already tied a noose around your light bulb switch,
Yeah, you know.
so
This is true.
not
You have an
today, old
escape room in
friend.
your basement.
You know,
Are you tagging that one too? Is that what you're gonna do?
Yep.
I always need to weigh out.
Ooh. I think this podcast is gonna actually need trigger warnings, like necessary ones.
Well,
Which is fair.
I mean, can't you? Isn't there a thing you do for a podcast where you could just say like,
Yeah,
oh,
you can mark
mature-
it as expletive.
Yeah, so we'll just do that.
Because the Three Best Friends cast, shout out to RIP in peace, to my old podcast, we had it marked as expletive in case someone cursed later on, because they can remove your podcast if you don't mark it as expletive and someone curses. So you have to do it in the beginning.
Now, when it
So it
comes
marks
to
through.
material, like, is there anything that you're not allowed to discuss on podcasts per se?
No, I mean, I've seen like actual sex talk.
Bless you.
I've seen the mommy and daddy wrestling talk where they go bang bang,
Yeah, I
and
also
then
saw
that's what's
Bob
going
Burke,
on. They're like,
an
it's the
asshole.
thing that accidentally brought you in here.
I never said I wasn't an accident. No, actually,
No, my parents love me.
Actually, fun fact today, my parents showed me my baby book, and like it was like baby pictures of me and like my mom holding me like in the bed. As I was like born and whatnot.
As
And-
babies usually get.
That-
But I just thought of a great thing to do. Go on.
And they had this one picture of me on New Year's Eve. They dressed me in a very tiny tuxedo, complete with tails and a top hat.
Fantastic.
It was the best picture I've ever seen, and I will never be that cool ever again in my life.
That's fair.
I
That's fair.
applaud your confidence.
So so I don't know why I just thought of this now, but like you were talking about your baby book, and what I want to do if I'm ever blessed in this world to have children, is that whenever my kid's being like a little asshole, I want to be like, listen, I want to show you your baby book, and it's pictures I took of them recently. I'm like, and they're like, what are you talking about? This is pictures of me now. I'm like, hey, stop being a fucking baby, little bitch.
You'll make a great dad. It's okay. I think babies are the worst STD.
That shit lasts for your entire life.
That it does, and it's a gift that keeps on taking from you.
See, that's the thing. I don't have a problem with kids. I just don't like kids, and I don't want kids at this point in my life. Maybe, if I find someone and I want to say, hey, you know what, let's start a family, I'll do it. But at this point, I don't want kids. They're a waste of money. And what do they do for the first 5 years of their life?
Shit, pee, and cry.
Exactly.
Just like me
once
with
they
my
once they
Volkswagen.
hit a certain age, then yeah, they can do shit for you. But at this point,
you.
babies are useless. They lie there, they cry, they don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of lay there and take your
Shout
money.
out to Eric.
Oh wow, Eric really is a child, isn't he? God, he's not even listening, and we're talking about him.
No. Well, at least
Jokes that nobody will get.
Well, we can plug.
We can make we can make Eric a character.
We can make a whole video of an introduction to Eric. That way they get the joke.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that'd be
the
much
people who
fun.
just listen to the audio thing and don't care about the video portion, yeah, that'll be great for them.
Shut
I mean-
up. No, I'm convinced that whoever I fall in love with and marry, if I ever do that whole thing, that'll dictate if I have kids. I can live with or live without
you'll
them.
get to the wedding, you're at the altar, and you're just like, listen, I'm not ready for a relationship.
Oh, hun, we need to talk.
You're just
yeah,
like,
ooh.
listen, that wedding dress, I really like you as a friend. Like, we went through this whole thing. I'm not ready for a relationship. My last girlfriend of 2 days fucked me up, man. I can't do it.
I'm not.
But
like
we've
that.
been together for 10 years.
I'm not over her yet.
I'm committed, ladies. I swear. Just not ready for commitment. But when I get there, shut up. It's back to
when?
babies. Yeah, the only money pit that shits everywhere I want is an old Volkswagen. Otherwise, you can have your children.
Your old swaggin' wagon.
Pretty much. I'll have my 1980s VW Vanagon, and that'll be
I
my
kind of
child.
want them to change the name to Swaggin' Wagon instead of Volkswagen.
There's people that have made swag wagons.
You know,
Oh, yeah, the
no.
Volkswagen.
I want like on the corporate like name and everything.
Swag wagon. We get the
Swagin'
young
wagon.
people. Yeah, unfortunately, Volkswagen isn't cool anymore. Like all
They
their
changed
cars,
the logo to an SW instead of a VW.
that'd be awesome. But all the cars nowadays are just very utilitarian looking, and the new Jetta looks like a Passat.
I hate how cars look now. Like I have this like thought every time I'm like either in traffic on the parkway or whenever I drive into like New York City. It's usually whenever I drive New York City, I always have this thought that every car just looks the fucking same, and I hate it.
To a degree, I get what
And
you're
it's
saying.
just like,
The styling.
And
yeah.
I also don't get when like what was it? I think it was like back when like Pimp My Ride used to do a thing, and they would show a car if they didn't do like a wacky paint job with it, but they just had like they made it like blue instead of like a generic black. They made like a brighter blue, and they see the car and they freak out. I'm like, it's just the outside.
There's
It's a generic ass looking car. Like, what's the big deal about it? Or when like in the commercial somebody pulls up a new car and they're like, ah! I'm like, it looks just like any other car.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about Pimp My Ride that people don't like.
Yeah, the one major thing about that show is they never did anything mechanically to the car. They only made it look good.
I am proud of you.
And it would actually
They took out
raise
half
their
the shit, too.
insurance.
They took out half the shit in it too.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't actually go home with
were-
everything in there.
No, there was a couple people who went onto Reddit. I mean, you could take this with a grain of salt, much as you can. I mean, one guy actually showed the pictures of his car, like what it is now, and he was saying how after the show, they take out half the stuff in it. A lot of the problems with the car wasn't fixed. I think the only guy who ever had a car that was actually fixed was one guy had a
Was
car.
the one
that,
who literally bought them a brand new car, right?
Yeah, they had to buy him a brand new car because the car he had, they said was a ticking time bomb. I mean, granted, it could have just been for the show, for whatever they did with it.
I'd say
But
any car could be recovered with the right amount of money, love, and
They
time.
said essentially what this guy did was he took a front of one car and the back of another, and they literally just meshed it together.
And that's how you make all-wheel drive cars.
And they were just like, this car can't go on the road anymore. And then they just bought him like a brand new car. And
Yeah, that's
just
what
It was like a brand new Scion when Scion first came out.
Yeah, and then just like decked that out. And what was funny was let's say what was actually funny for that episode was when they brought him over to show him the car, they took the tarp off and it was his old car because they didn't do anything to it. She was like, yeah, huh? And he's
clever.
looking at
That's
it, and
clever.
they're like, yeah, no, it's your car, and they're all just like clapping or whatever, and he's like, what the fuck? And then like,
what?
and like
Why?
the guy comes up and he starts talking about all this stuff in the car, and he's like, what are you talking about? And the guy goes, oh, dude, we're just playing with you, and he's like, clearly.
I can tell.
And then they bring in the new car, and he was like, oh, and they're like, yeah, your car is a piece of shit.
Well, that's the thing. All the stupid crap that they put in that car actually raises the insurance.
Oh, of
So
course.
90% of the people who had these cars in the first place cannot afford to cover their car.
They successfully
and they can't.
gentrified the people out of their cars.
Yes.
Oh, man, that's awful.
Hysterical, though.
It's funny.
Oh yeah,
I can laugh
And
at it, but that's
because
terrible.
that show was so ridiculous, and that is what spawned all the exhibit memes. And so I heard you like fish, so I put a fish tank in your fish tank so you can watch fish while you watch your fish. Stupid.
Saying, which is funny because he actually, even on the show, hated the fact that they put so much stupid shit on there.
Mm-hmm.
Was that there was one episode where they had mud flaps on this guy's car, and they put little monitors in the mud flaps. And so he's like, the guy who's explaining the car, he's like, so we know how you like to go off-roading in your car. So we put these like brand new custom-made mud flaps with 7-inch LED monitors in them. And you literally hear Exhibit laugh on the show and go, that's so stupid. And then they pan over to him and his head's in his hands and he's just laughing. And you audibly hear him say, that's so stupid.
I need to find that on YouTube or something.
doubt you can never find anything on that show like that specific, but
I mean, that sounds like one of those moments that would go viral from the show, though.
but it's like I never heard anyone talk about that like after the fact. I just remember.
Are you
being
sure it
in the-
happened? Are you sure this wasn't a dream?
No,
Or
I mean, if we could find like every episode of fucking Pimp My Ride and try to watch that again.
gonna binge it out.
There's a lot of episodes of that show.
Yeah, a lot of awful cars came and went. out of that
Two
show.
like parts of it too. Back when they worked at West Coast Customs, and then they worked at Gas. So that was two
Indeed.
different.
No, I'm with Bob though. I never. There was nothing ever mechanically done to any of or, like to the motor, the drivetrain, the transmission. Like there's no. These people would probably be better off with like getting a suspension refresh than having a waterfall going down the center of their car.
But no, you have a tube gumball machine going through all the seats of the car.
That's cool. My tie rod ends are shot. My steering's sloppy, but at least I got gum. Fantastic.
Remember, that was one thing that
Priorities.
they were like, I want to make like a bit one time where it's just like pay my ride, and it's just like, because like the shit they like found out about them was like the dumbest shit ever. So they're gonna be like, we found a stick of gum in your glove compartment once, so we made you a gum machine to deliver gum to every part of your car.
And the gum machine's like sitting. It's like sitting right in front of one of the airbags. So if the airbag detonates, the gum just turns into shrapnel.
Just shoots out, and fucking impales them in the head, and just decapitates them.
Pretty much.
Oh my god!
What a flavorful way to die.
I just want to imagine that. Just they get into a car accident inside of the airbag, and the actual size gum machine shoots out of the fucking car and just kills the person.
It actually turns into a claymore, but instead of steel like ball bearings, it's gumballs.
Yep. Well, I saw a picture of someone.
Delicious ways to die.
And then like I just want to see the two detectives come over, and they're like, "What happened here?" And he's like, "Got gummed."
Yeah.
They gave him a gummy.
Oh, I wasn't like Detective Gumshoe. What happened here? And he's like, well, my name's involved in it.
No. Oh, no.
I don't know. I thought of Gumshoe, and I was like, how can I make this work? And I was like, oh, damn.
Looks like this is a little bit of a sticky incident.
We're in a bit of a sticky situation.
I saw a picture online of someone. I don't know if anyone's into the whole hippy dippy crystals and rocks thing, but somebody.
JL crystals?
What? Yes, sure. Sworsky. I don't know what you just said.
Yeah, have you never heard of JO crystals? Jerk off crystals.
I don't think I want to know.
Wait, you haven't heard of it either? Oh my god!
I am actually going to allow you to derail my story for a second.
When this is done,
okay,
do I have a Craigslist posting to show you guys?
Crystals.
Holy shit!
I mean, it sounds painful, but I'm going to try anything at once.
All right. I'll go into the TLDR so you can get to your story afterwards. Okay. So there was a legitimate Craigslist posting of a guy who showed pictures of like white crystals on like a string, and he said, "Looking for a bro to charge my crystals with." And he wrote out this like very detailed paragraph and a picture of him wearing the crystal on his neck. And he was like, I'm just looking for some bros to charge up my JO crystals with. My like his number one fantasy, what would happen is that they would be butt naked outside near a flagpole, and they would be jerking off back to back around the flagpole, and that a tornado or a hurricane would come through, and they would be hanging onto the flagpole as the thing was going, but they're also jerking off while this is happening, and they would charge their crystals together. It is a legitimate thing. I want to show you it.
That's how Doc Brown charged the DeLorean.
Marty, it's your kids. Marty's jerking off enough.
Marty, don't stop.
Oh, jeez, Doc. My balls are getting heavy.
That's like, this is like a Rick and Morty episode gone wrong.
Come on, Marty.
Oh, God. Oh,
you gotta jerk off faster. Stop looking at your mother back in the day. Oh, jeez, Doc. She looks so good.
Oh, Wincest, anyway.
That's 2 incest jokes we've made in this episode.
So is this entire stream just filled with tags at this point? Like tag,
only
tag,
5.
Tag. Only tag. Those are
only
those
5.
Those are
I
rookie
think
numbers.
4 of those are mine.
We gotta do
Yes.
better. Are we gonna have a good old fashioned tag off? Who can make the worst jokes? No, but so back to that picture. I don't know if anybody believes in all crystals things. Not those crystals, but
Crystal meth.
the chakra. And Brian is now showing me the post. And the gentleman who posted this was bold enough to actually post his picture too.
Dude, he was serious. He wanted to charge up these crystals.
Wow.
Do you really know it's serious though? It's the internet. Is it really serious though?
Let me believe.
I want to believe.
Literally, for anyone listening, just go to Google, type in JO crystal. First thing that's there.
J-O?
J-O.
That's for jerk off. I get it.
See, when you first read it off as the J.O. crystal, I'm totally picturing a scene from Always Sunny in Philadelphia with Dennis saying, "Hey man, this is totally," or sorry, with Mac, "Hey man, this is totally straight. It's just two bros charging up some crystals."
That's what he says. He says this is no homosexual gay shit. These are just some bros getting around to charge our crystals.
So it's basically Mac from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Pretty much.
I wish he like put out flyers in the shape of a bicep. That, looks like something else. That would be magical.
Oh, it's on Urban Dictionary. There's like videos on it. There's a Tumblr about JO crystals.
Now the real question is though, did someone follow through? Did someone reach out and say I will charge your crystals?
I don't know, but I really hope so.
I kind of hope so too. I don't know how weird that makes me. I really hope.
I don't know how old this post is, but this is going back to 2012. So this is like some like old
back
school
when I
shit.
graduated college. Glad I've done a lot since then.
I was like, shit, yeah, you graduated college in 2012.
Indeed.
We should have him on the show.
J-
Call him and get him an
guy.
interview.
If we could find him.
I mean, just look up the Craigslist ad. Just use his number or email.
If the ad's still there.
I'm sure it's archived somewhere. I'm sure.
Well, I'm saying like they have the picture of the guy.
No, I get that, but
here.
I'm sure somebody archived.
Oh no, it was from 2008.
Oh, that's when I started college.
April 28th, 2008 at 7:56 p.m. Central Time.
Just for the technicalities.
I'm just reading off the date and time that it came off. He was
Now,
in
when you say
Houston.
came
He was in
off-
Houston and he was 38 years old. I'll read the exact thing. The crystal I wear around my neck contains an essence that gets charged when I jack it with a bro who also has a crystal. It gives me confidence at work, home, social situations, etc. Nobody knows it's a JL crystal but me and my bros.
This should be a television infomercial.
I have seen it glow white while jerking it with a bud. That's how I know this is real. You can come over as long as you know I want a picture of you, preferably wearing your crystal before I waste my time. That was the original post. There was I think another one that somebody made that said the whole hurricane one, which
Not
I
feeling
thought
confident, not doing well at work. Do we have the answer for you?
I got to find the hurricane one. That was the funniest shit I ever read.
So
but
back to dumb things.
that was the original one.
Back to Brian Derail Spencer.
Go on.
So back to dumb things people do with crystals, which my story won't even come close to topping this. So thank you. But this person would take, spiritual essence, chakra, that jazz. This person was like, I wanna be surrounded by crystals all day, so I put crystals on my steering wheel. Yeah, she hot glued crystals to her airbag. So if that deployed, that would be an actual grenade. That would be shrapnel in her face. She would be as close to the crystals as she could get.
Wow, she would literally get impaled by crystals.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Kinda
please,
like the
please
double-
tell me also they're like the pointy side out. So that like when it happens, it's just the pointing side just goes right through the fucking face.
I think it was more blunt. Wasn't that a 007 movie? They got the diamond shot.
Oh yeah, 007, crystals to the face. My favorite.
Where they they have the Bond cars, the Honda Civic.
That's with Danny DeVito as James Bond.
Yeah. Oi! Get over here, you son of a bitch!
Can offer you this egg in this trying time.
Say goodnight, Mr. Bond. Yeah, fuck you! Fuck you and your fancy clothes.
He was in Hercules, the game. He was in Hercules, the
He was
movie.
in Hercules the movie. Hey, he was Phil. Was it Phil?
Danny DeVito is my
Yeah,
favorite
Phil.
mythical god.
Phil? I was like, I was like, because I always called him Hank for some reason. No, his name is Phil.
Hank.
Yeah. I don't know why. I called him Hank for the longest time, and then I started calling him Phil. I'm like, wait, no, his name is Hank. Like, no, it's Phil. I'm like, God damn it. I got myself mixed up.
There you go. There's the crystals on the airbag.
Okay, that's all right. Then those are just rocks. I mean, I was expecting like like fucking Crash Bandicoot like purple crystals.
Well, let me spoil the ending for you, whether they're sharp or not. It's
I know.
One object coming at your face.
No shit, that's gonna hurt
Within.
anyway. But it would have been funnier if they were like the pointy crystals sticking out. It would just
No, it's not like chandelier crystals that are just pointing.
That would have been funnier.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. This is why maybe we shouldn't do stuff with visuals. We should let people just think what they want to think. They're gonna see us and be like, ew, that's what they look like? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just boring as rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, fix
I
yourself.
got a
Right.
rock.
Relay Manifesto, what kind of banner is that? Fucking, who listens to what? Am I right?
This bit's not working.
Help.
You could have easily just let us take it.
Failing.
That you didn't have to
Failing.
fucking just go right into. Shut up.
Streetlight jokes are funny.
That is marker
So-
number 7,
Wait, you just gotta
You
cut it
actually-
titled "Delete this part."
and delete
Why? We
and
can
delete.
be-
Until, no, that was stupid.
So what? That's the point of it. We're doing this for at least an hour. There's gonna be bits that are just dumb.
Yeah, because you said it.
Damn.
Put in marker. Put in air horns after a
Throwing the
said
grenade
joke.
horn. This is gonna be fun. I can't wait to do this every Sunday. This should be great.
Everywhere you.
Every time.
Oh. Fucking. Let me get into this.
The studio audience.
So
is
I
already
started watching Fuller House with Corinne recently. My God, I have never watched a more poorly written, poorly just edited show. In my, actually, no, I've seen some worse shit, but man, this was pretty terrible.
laughing. How terrible was it, Brian? Let us tell us.
There was a they were at a wedding for boyfriend that.
Yeah, two people that fell in love with each other. Got it. Yeah.
Steve, the boyfriend of oldest.
Of course his name's
oldest
Steve.
Daughter.
DJ.
DJ. Her high school boyfriend was dating a different girl named CJ, so you know. And she looked like her, acted just like her, all that other bullshit. So yeah, no, it was like so the writing
Great
already is
writing.
supreme. And she was marrying, or she just got engaged to her boyfriend of wherever she works at, some vet place, and they're at the wedding, and they lost the ring because the bride's like maid of honor just couldn't show up for whatever reason. So DJ ended up being the maid of honor. And so they're like, oh, do you have the rings? And DJ's like, yeah, I got the ring right here. And then she's like, whoops. And then it like falls out of her hand, goes down like this like waterfall, rock wall, whatever bullshit. And this fake ass CGI looking fish comes out of nowhere, fucking nabs it out of the air and goes back into the water. So then they're like, oh no, we gotta go get the ring. So DJ jumps off the cliff. She's like poorly edited going down the cliff to jump into the water. And Steve's like, I'll go too. And he also fucking like jankily falls into the water. And so they grab the fish and it's some fucking crane machine stuffed ass looking fish that you can find. And they
Bob, I don't know about
pop-
you. This sounds like a 10 out of 10.
They
to me.
pop out the ring and they're like, oh, we found the ring for your wife. And he's like, my wife who I'm marrying, that's not you. And it's not me. And then like the fish pops out car keys. And they're like, oh, some idiot left their car keys in here. And then I was like, it's going to be someone at the weddings. And she was like, probably going to be Kimmy's brother, Jimmy.
Husband.
No, Kimmy's brother.
Who's the husband?
Kimmy's brother, Jimmy.
The husband.
Oh, she was going to be the husband. Like, it was going to be some bit where it's like, oh, we found the ring and some car keys. And it's like, oh, wait, those are mine. I lost these last week. Like, some bullshit. What happens? Fucking Kimmy walks over and she's like, oh, my car keys. And it's like, fucking called it.
God damn it, Kimmy.
The writing was so predictable. There's another bit where it's just like the youngest boy, DJ's oldest boy comes in. He's like, I found a little bird, and Kimmy's like, oh, we're gonna be best friends, and blah blah blah. She's going this whole bit, and I was like, as soon as she's gonna finish, that bird's gonna fly away perfectly fine. That's exactly what happened. Fucking bird flies away. She finished, and she's like, well, dang it. And I was like, I was like, I could predict this entire show as it happened, and that's exactly what I did. And I was like, this is the fucking worst. And of course, at the end of the wedding episode, it was like, rest in peace to the writer on the show. And I was like, he died for this bullshit. And Crane goes,
That's what
yeah, I think he's better off.
I did not say that.
One
I
of-
said he probably didn't write that one then.
Oh, no, it's like, yeah, the good writer died.
We can tell someone died.
I was like, because like it was even worse than
Can you
the shit.
imagine,
Like,
Talk about
the show
career
brought him
killer.
back to life 3 days later or something? It'd be crazy.
yeah, the writer's Jesus.
But that's the joke, Brian. Thank you.
But dude, oh my god! So if you never watch Fuller House, just if you're really looking for some shit, That's some shit.
I actually am a huge fan of shit movies. I love. That was like a feature length movie. Right?
No,
It was a series.
It's a series. It's an actual TV.
Yeah, it's a
series.
Netflix show.
Netflix show where they got the two older girls,
I don't remember
DJ and
any of the
Stephanie. They didn't get the Olsen twins because they're off doing blow off some guy's dick right now.
cast. You know, good for them. Live your life the way you want.
They did an episode with them or whatever.
Never stop dreaming. Do blow off people's
They
assholes.
look at the camera like, really?
Really?
That's pretty funny.
Oh, you.
But no, what's great was that they have DJ, who's like the eldest girl, has 3 kids.
DJ! Yeah.
Has 3 kids, and they're all boys, of course.
Another one.
And the youngest boy is played by 2 different child actors who are twins. And I'm like, yep, got to keep that going too. But then she brought up a good point that, you know, child labor laws. Eagles are doing well. Bob's is going nuts over there.
I could tell his shadow looks like he is doing the J.O. That's what I'm saying. The shadow casting on the
That's pretty great.
shadow casting on the wall right now has the mic, and Bob was shaking his fist in excitement, and needless to say, it just laid out perfectly.
It was like a Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I will
bit,
let you.
where-
I will let you play out the rest in your head and what that looked like. But so what?
You ever watch Robin Hood Men in Tights?
I have not. I've heard many things about it.
It's one of those Mel Brooks movies.
I'm one of those people that if you say, "Have you ever seen The Thing?" the answer is usually no. I never saw The Thing. Like you'll say, "I never saw Godfather." Still,
You ever-
and
you ever-
everyone's
you ever
like, "No, I haven't."
I haven't
seen it.
either. It's fine. You ever see
Fun
Spaceballs?
fact: the Godfather theme, you know, "Speak Softly, My Love" is the name of the song. It's actually an Italian opera song that was adapted for the movie The Godfather. But that was my parents' wedding song.
Nice.
Also, mind you, my last name is Giaquinto.
So it's Irish.
Yeah.
No, it's Russian. That's why people are going to yell at him in football.
Oh, we're gonna do the fumble Ruski.
My family's the reason the Fumble Ruski is banned.
Fun fact: Bob's mother's maiden name is Ruski.
Close. It was Kuczynski.
That's phenomenal. A fumble Kuczynski. I like it. That works.
Fumblechinski.
That'd be great if your dad's last name was Fumble and your mom's last name was Kuczynski. Welcome to the wedding of Fumble Kuczynski.
Do you gentlemen partake in like shitty movies and shitty shows that are just entertaining to watch? It's kind of like The Room.
I do, but I haven't in a
love
while.
The Room.
The Room is one of my
Everyone loves
all-time
The Room.
favorite movies.
Everyone loves The Room.
Have you ever
forgot
seen
who it was?
Rubber?
I met one person in college. who
Rubber
hated
is
The Room.
awful as well. I loved it. The Killer Tire.
Yes.
That was great. That was awful.
It was like the Leprechaun movies.
Those I would consider really shitty movies, but
Fun
good
fact.
movies.
Fun fact. Jennifer Aniston got her start in the first Leprechaun movie.
Really?
She did.
Do you see her nipples in that one, just like Friends?
I don't know because I think she's like 16 in it.
Fire up that cheese pizza.
So you might want to just.
Want to know another fun fact? Take 2.
That was number 9, by the way.
Want to know another fun fact? So apparently in Connecticut they have such a child pornography issue that my little brother and his friends, he goes to school at Quinnipiac in Connecticut. They have formally nicknamed child pornography
star of the movies.
Cheese Pizza. Like if they had to, because I was like, Shane, how big of a problem is it that you actually have to nickname it Cheese Pizza? And there was a guy.
I think that was also a South Park bit.
This was real life. This was based
No,
on
but
a true story.
I'm saying they might have just like adapted the South Park bit where they were talking about. I don't know. I very well
I can
could
see
be
it
wrong.
happening.
I think it
I
was.
can see it happening.
No,
but-
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. The South Park bit was when the kids were getting high off of cat urine. So they would
they're
get the cats-
cheesing.
Yeah, they're
They're
cheesing.
cheesing.
That's it. That's what I'm
Yes.
thinking of.
That
They
had
were
nothing to
cheesing.
do with CP, though.
So then, like the TV would be like, if your kids ever say the words, "I'm totally cheesing out right now," it's because their cats are peeing on their faces and getting high. They're like, if you see Ken, he's totally cheesing right now. That's what I was thinking of.
The awesome mountain of boobies. Yeah, or something like that.
He would listen to it was like the Flash Gordon like the Daydream
Flash.
where he was listening
Ah!
where he was on the thing with like the girl with the huge breast and he was like And he was fighting. And he was fighting Randy. They were both like in their underwear and like a sandbox because they were both high on cat urine, paddling over the girl. But they look in real life, it's just them two in a sandbox punching each other.
My favorite part, like music video scene from that was when Kenny's like, I think it's one of the final ones. He has a 3rd gen Firebird, a Trans Am Firebird, rocking out to 80s music. It was fantastic. All he was missing was a mullet, and it would have been perfect. I think
it might have been that. I think it might have been that episode when he was cheesing.
Oh no, it was that episode. Like that entire sequence of him cheesing is based off of a music video from the 80s. I forgot what band. Probably the one that plays the song and stuff. But
probably like Def Leppard or something.
There was an animated music video just like that for some sort of 80s song. So
I don't know why. Whenever I just imagine like somebody in one of those cars like just driving down the highway, I always just think of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Never saw it.
Yeah, that's a movie that I haven't seen either.
It looks awesome.
It is really good. I recommend it. But that's like, you want to watch a good movie, not like a shitty movie that's good.
Well, if you want to watch a shitty movie, gentlemen, have you seen Cannibal the Musical?
I've seen actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. Yeah. No.
Running through the forest, Shia LaBeouf.
So this was a small budget film that Matt Stone and Trey Parker did before South Park. I think it's Matt Stone, one of them, but it was before South Park, and it's just phenomenal. They coined the term "spadoinkle" that came from that, and I think it's a spadoinkle day. Like it's just fantastic.
Here's the thing: is it like meant to be shitty and that's why it's funny, or no? See, because what I'm talking about is movies
that were meant to be serious.
They want it to be serious and good, but they're so bad it's great, a la The Room. They thought they were making, or at least Tommy Wiseau thought he was making. He thought he was making something great, while everyone else was kind of like,
everyone
whatever.
Was just like,
everyone's like, yeah, this is bad.
I'm getting paid for this.
Yeah, they're like, I'm here to collect the paycheck.
Have you guys seen The Disaster Artist?
I have not.
I want to see it.
It is awesome.
That's a movie.
If you're a fan of The Room, you want to see this.
Okay.
And the end credit scenes are amazing. I'm not going to go into in depth what it is because I don't want to spoil it for our listeners.
If you want to see a great end credit sequence, let me tell you about Doki Doki Literature.
No, we're not doing this. All right. Let's get to the rant section of the fucking podcast right now. This is my fucking rant section. Anytime I show Spencer something that's just like, oh, let me just share something for right now, and then we're just gonna leave it at that, never fucking stays at that.
Nope.
And it started with the "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared." I showed him "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" 4, I think it was.
Yep. Now I have a T-shirt.
And it's just like I showed him like the "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" videos. Like you've watched them before.
Oh yeah.
I think 4 was the computer one.
Green is not a creative color.
And it was just like the computer takes over their world and like fucks with them.
Computer.
And then as it does the usual "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared," it gets super fucked up at the end. I showed him it. He then proceeds to show everyone we know who I've watched with them already or got the video from them. And then we go to PAX where I'm with my home friends and we're just hanging out doing whatever. And he's it's the Super Spencer thing to do. And he's like, let me show you. He's like, no, let me show you this like
let's get weird
drone
together.
footage I took in like I took in Asbury on the beach. Yeah. And it's like, all right, cool, whatever, looking at drone footage. And then Spencer just gives me this big shit-eating grin and then starts typing in "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" 4. And it starts playing out to where the point where I notice all my friends are like, what the fuck is happening? And then one of my friends literally just gets up and walks out of the room to the point where I have to take the controller away from his hand and turn it off because you're being that guy.
I know.
And then he's doing it again right now.
Well, that one I did on purpose, and it was a great segue for you to get all pissy and stuff. So
fucking
you're welcome. You are welcome.
Infuriating. I'm never showing you anything ever again.
That's fine. We're never hanging out with you again. We're just gonna use your basement.
It's fine.
You stupid cat.
Corinne, we're good to come over and record next week, right?
We got the okay from the live studio audio.
Attendee.
Ends.
Attendees.
Attendees.
You know what? I just thought of a great intro for this podcast. Audience of One by Rise Against. A sad song, so we probably shouldn't use it, but joke was there.
See, I was thinking of rooftops when we were talking about North Korea bombing us. Standing on the rooftops, waiting for the bomb drops.
And hey,
everyone scream your heart out.
No, we talked about incest. I was like, we're talking about baby fucking.
This is
Lead
true.
singer raped a baby.
At least you make great music. Gotta take your wins with your losses, right?
That was one of the most disturbing yet funniest things I ever had to read on a Facebook page.
Oh, yeah?
That like after like lead singer of Lost Prophets rapes a baby, and then the band's just like, yeah, it's our lead singer's a scumbag, so we're done.
Hey, bye.
I was trying to see. I was like, is this just a really bad Onion article? No, this is real. This is real.
r/not the onion. Another great subreddit.
Very good subreddit.
Subreddit of the day.
What is your favorite Is that going to be our subreddit
That's
of the
my
day?
subreddit of the day. r/not the onion. It's a great subreddit.
My favorite subreddit is 4chan. It's funny. Yeah, get a tag. Fine. Dude.
Okay. So no, but I was saying if there's a subreddit that's my favorite to go to. I really like r/dank memes. Dank memes is great.
Can we do a
good laughs.
Getting Weird with Spencer on YouTube segment?
No.
Oh, please?
No, you could do that by yourself.
Well, I already do.
I know. And I regret half the shit that happens on there.
Oh, it's so much fun, though. The dread in people's faces. Oh, why is anyone friends with me? Why am I like this?
Words may have come out of my mouth at PAX last year. After you showed the video, I literally just muttered to myself, why am I friends with him?
Because I'm awesome.
Fun fact, you're still in my phone as Spencer McAwesome Pants.
OG original.
You changed that in like college one day and you're just like, I'm Spencer McAwesome Pants.
Fun fact, when I speaking of changing names on phones, when I got my first phone, I was 12 years old, and it was a flip phone that it was like a promotion Verizon was doing. It was like buy one get one free. Mm-hmm. So my mom got a new phone, and then she was like, "Oh, we got you a phone as well," because I was starting to do sports. So like I needed a phone to call them to come pick me up.
You need to call sports. Sports,
So-
come here.
1-800-SPORTS ball.
So my mom was like, "All right, this is your phone," and I was like, "What? Oh my god!" So I can do whatever with it, and the first thing I did was get all of my family's names and numbers in there, and my brother Sean wasn't home, but my brother Mike was. So I go, "Hey Mike, can you put in your name and number in my phone?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure." Takes my phone, types in the name My Left Nut, and then gives it back to me. And because then I didn't look at it, so he puts in My Left Nut and then like exits out of the contacts. He's like, "All right, here you go." 12-year-old me comes back downstairs, and my mom's like, "Oh, did you get everyone?" I'm like, "Yeah." I go to my contacts, and it's like Mom, Dad, like Shauna, home, My Left Nut. And my mom looks at it, she goes, "Oh, what the? My God!"
Oh, Mike's a champ. That's fantastic.
I think he got grounded because of it.
Worth it. Worth the jail time, Mike.
It was
Worth it.
Fucking hysterical. looking
Speaking
back
of getting
then.
grounded, have I ever told you guys about the time I got grounded because of squirrels?
Yes.
Do proceed.
So,
Proceed, but yes, I have heard the story.
So I was grounded because a squirrel got into my house. It was around Christmas time. I was like 12 or 13.
Delivering
and my
these
parents let me stay home alone for the first time ever. And for Christmas, my dad's a big fan of like having like the walnuts and that kind of stuff.
Did you whip out your crystals?
Had to charge up somehow. No, so my parents left me home alone, and we had these walnuts and like cashews and things like that on our table in a little pan.
Right.
Well, I'm upstairs, playing video games or watching TV or something like that, and I come home and watching TV downstairs, or go downstairs watching TV down there. My parents come home, and there are nuts shells all over the table. There's a flower pot knocked over, and she's blaming me. And I'm saying, I don't know how this happened. And she's like, all right, you're 12. You're clearly lying to me because there's shit knocked over and there's stuff all over the table and everything like that. You're grounded.
You rebel.
Fast forward a week later, I was grounded for like 2 weeks. No video games, no nothing.
It
was bad.
Man.
It was bad because this was literally the first time I was home alone ever.
Bob goes upstairs crying into his pillow, just listening to "Where's My Mind" by the Pixies.
Feet on the air and your head on the ground.
So fast forward a week later, my whole family's home. We're sitting on the couch watching TV and whatnot. And the way my house is set up is it's kind of a straight line. Mm-hmm. You have the living room, dining room, kitchen. And off the side of the dining room is the stairs to come up from the basement. Mm-hmm. Well, we left the basement door open because why not? And we sit there. My dad sees a squirrel come up from the basement, hop up on the table, grab a nut, and start eating.
Okay.
My dad's sitting there. He goes, "You guys see this?" So he gets up, chases the squirrel around the living room or the dining room there.
Fantastic.
Knocks over the exact same goddamn plant that was knocked over. Left shells and everything. Runs downstairs. My dad chases it downstairs. So now my dad is in the basement. It's a very small basement. Mm-hmm. So he gets in and he just hears
like scuttles,
like scuttle noises.
Don't fucking look at me.
And he's looking around. he's looking around. And next, have you ever seen the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Yeah,
probably.
When the cat jumps out of the Christmas tree right on his face. That's what happened with the squirrel.
That is
fantastic.
Magical.
Jumped off the top of our air conditioning duct onto his head and then out the basement window.
The only thing that would make the story better if you had the Benny Hill theme and slapstick noises to be like boing and stuff like that would be fantastic.
Fast forward a few weeks later now. I have.
Did you get the squirrel out?
It ran away. Fast forward a few weeks later. It's now, beginning of January. Maybe first couple of weeks of January.
Year 2 of my grounding.
And as soon as my mom saw that, she's like, "All right, yeah, you were telling the truth. It was literally no one. It was a squirrel."
Liar. I'm a truther.
So a few weeks later, we're having my birthday party, and my mom makes fudge and a ice cream cake for me. But she says, okay, it's going to be in its little case and like protective coating and whatnot. We'll leave it outside on the deck to cool off or to keep cool because it's January.
Yeah, cool off that hot ice cream.
Well, to thaw it out at least.
Yeah.
So they go outside on the deck and there's a hole in my cake.
Bob, what were you doing with the cake?
And
I was just trying to charge my crystals.
Nothing. Zip.
It's like apple pie, I've heard. So
Now that's got to cool off.
they see, footprints and half the cake eaten.
Right.
And then little paw prints into the fudge, some of the fudge eaten, and then more footprints in the other fudge, and then tracks leading to where a squirrel is sitting on our deck staring at the house like, what? What are you going to do about it?
You fucking what, mate?
My dad yells for me and tells me to grab the wrist rocket.
Oh.
He had
we are going for blood.
a slingshot
Oh, yeah.
and a sweet potato.
I'm sorry, how big was this slingshot that it could sling a sweet potato?
It had an arm brace.
That's a big slingshot.
It was huge.
That's a big
Why a
slingshot.
sweet potato?
It was literally laying
Because
by
they're
the
way
door.
healthier than normal potatoes.
And it was also
I
around
forgot the usual things before you go outside: the keys, wallet, phone, and sweet potato.
I mean, clearly. But this is the back door,
As
so
an
it's like the
Irishman,
little
I
back
expected
area.
More from you.
That is true. Well, it should be just a regular potato, not a sweet potato.
Regular
for him.
potato.
This is
Come on.
true. Hold the fungus, yeah.
Yes. So my dad sees the squirrel run away. He grabs the wrist rocket, and he watches it climb up a tree. Now in my backyard backs up to a creek. So
Can I
sees
just
this-
say also, so your dad's thought process to get the squirrel to stop eating food from your house was to shoot more food at it.
Oh no, he was out for blood. He was going to kill this
No,
thing.
I understand,
but-
but he also shot food at it.
It was either get the
And
wrist
speaking
rocket
of-
or go upstairs and get the
speaking of-
shotgun.
speaking of
Your
A
call.
shotgun would have been better, in my
The
opinion.
shitty movies. This is starting to sound like one that I know pretty well.
So he climbs
Shout
up,
out the food fight.
and the squirrel is up on the arm of the tree.
It's the squirrel voiced by Wayne Brady.
Where it started crying poop
Go.
out of its eyes.
Go on, Bob.
Dad pulls back the wrist rocket, fires, nails the thing out of the tree. Squirrel falls out of the tree.
Wow.
Out of the tree, falls down into the creek, which it's winter, so the creek is completely dry and empty, and it's also a concrete creek. So you just hear thud.
Ooh.
That thing's dead.
Ooh.
We hadn't gotten fucked with squirrels ever since. We left that squirrel community a message saying, "Don't fuck with us."
Headshot.
You later find out Bob's dad put it on like Vlad the Impaler, stuck it out in the backyard, left a little sign in squirrel language, "Beware."
Fun fact: we also had squirrels getting into our like eaves and like soffitting of the house.
Right.
So we took carpet tacks and then duct tape or nailed them into a piece of wood, and then taped that piece of wood to our downspout because he saw the squirrels were getting on the downspout and getting on.
Yeah.
So we taped it up on there. We're going, we're watching. We hear the squirrels like skittering around on the top of our deck. See it jump up and fling off. Literally
Really?
jumped off the side of the house because it stepped on the carpet
Tell
tack.
you, man, you need that soundboard. Spoing.
So squirrels are my family's mortal enemies. They've gotten me grounded, but we are winning the war.
See, I never got.
Did your parents ever apologize?
Oh yeah, my mom's like, "Oh hey, sorry about that." I think they got me like a Lego set or something like that as their apology. I'm like, "Shit, I'll take it."
Oh, materialism. Neat.
Sorry for having no faith in you. Here's material possessions. You're the best.
Proud of you.
Just kidding. I love you, Giaquinto family.
I had the one time when I had the house to myself. I was like a teenager. My parents left to go like to a weekend vacation, and they came back and yelled at me for the house being messy. But the funny part was I didn't even stay in the house. I went to go visit friends for the entire weekend and whatnot. So they yelled at themselves pretty much, and then I still got grounded because I didn't clean the house. And then there was
That's
the
amazing.
other time that my little bastard brother. He's 5 years younger than me, so he must have been like 3 or 4 at the time. I got
Shane,
done.
you dick.
Yeah, Shane, you're a dick. I got done building this Lego contraption of whatever, and so I go to do something else. I'm in the playroom, and the little bastard waddles over, smacks my contraption on the ground, breaks it. I start looking at him, and I start yelling, and he sits on the ground, starts crying. My mom walks into the room, seeing the broken Lego contraption, and my little brother crying, and then grounds me for a week. I will say I was equally parts mad, but really impressed. Like, that was top tier.
Oh, of course,
I give
he's
him
5.
credit for that one.
You know, he's 5. He's gonna that's top tier. Like, what can I do?
That's top.
Fuck your day
Well, that's
up.
still top tier even for the 22-year-old self that he has. But,
Wait, it wasn't actually 5. This was actually 5 days ago.
right. Just my 6-foot brother crying. My 6-foot rugby captain of a brother, if I'm not painting this picture enough for you. No.
I was gonna say also has a deep voice, so I just imagine the deep
Right.
crying voice.
My big little brother. Indeed.
We're at an hour now.
We are.
We are.
Time flies when you're podcasting.
All right, well, we got to wrap this up. Just looking at the time. We're running out of time here today. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you for listening to the first, what do we call this again? Shootin' the Shibby.
Shootin' the Shibby.
Shootin' the Shibby.
Thank
A
you,
Shibby
future
Shack
Brian,
production.
who's probably listening to this on his car right up because he has probably ran out of YouTube videos to watch.
Yeah, thank you to future Spencer who's listening to this to see how dumb he actually sounds and how many times he stuttered on words.
Fuck you, Bob.
Fuck you, present Bob.
And also thank you for everyone who actually does take the time to listen to this. Don't get grounded.
Especially by squirrels.
Or jackass little brothers.
So, what did we learn today? I feel like we need to have like a Jerry Springer final
Okay,
final
no, that's
thoughts.
fair. Like, what did we learn this week? We're shooting the Shibby. Well, I know what you learned.
We got like a Scrubs moral at the end.
JT just stares into the ceiling. Does he always do this? Well, I know Bob learned about LSD.
I did. I learned about LSD
And JO crystals.
and JOCs.
JOCs.
I also learned that JO was actually just the letters JO, not JAO as a word. That's what I had in my head when you said JO.
It's fair.
Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear say JO.
JO.
What did you learn?
You also
Brian?
learned what the fumble rooski is.
I did
Yes,
learn
that's what I learned. I learned today what a fumblerooski is.
What it actually is.
What actually is. I've realized I've been wrong my entire life, and I learned.
Next week we'll learn about the Spangly Wing Dervish.
All that and more in next week's episode of Shootin' the Shibby.
Bye.
Yes, adore you all the time. I'd like to. I'd like to love you every day. got to love you, love you.